The one thing that I want to mention is that, let's see, sometimes it looks like you're missing a velocity, but you're not. If it says something like, oh, you started, at rest, or you stopped, then that means your velocity then changed to 0. All right. So let's look at these practice problems to start. All right. So the first thing I want to know is, what does this little V, F, and VI stand for?
VI stands for initial velocity, while VF stands for the final destination that you were at.
Right, very nice. The final velocity or final destination, correct. All right, and then T stands for time. All right, so here is the formula for acceleration. It is final velocity, all right, final velocity minus starting velocity. So I'm right here. Acceleration is final velocity minus starting velocity divided by time. And we just write it like this. We do a little V sub F and V sub I, and then a little T. So the hardest thing about these is making sure that you don't mix up the two of these, okay? You have to think about when you started, which one is your initial and which one is your final. So you can't just like go through, look at the numbers and then plug them in. Let me turn this way so we can see better. There we go. All right. So you can't just look at it and just say, all right, I'm going to put the 6 here and the 25 here, and then you have to know which one goes where, because if you are slowing down, what's another word for slowing down with acceleration? You might remember what that one was. It started with a D.
Deceleration.
Deceleration, right? So deceleration or negative acceleration. So you can have answers that are negative, okay? So I'm gonna do like just a few of these, and then I'll probably do like 1 or 2 on this page and then 1 or 2 on the second page. All right, so this first one says, a biker begins to move from a speed of 6 meters per second to a final speed of 25 meters per second in 10 seconds. And what is the acceleration of the bike? So the first thing you have to figure out is, we know that the numbers we're looking at, we have a 25 meters per second, a 6 meters per second, and then we have 10 seconds. What's usually the easiest one to pick out?
Time.
Time, right? So time is the easiest one, and time is going to be what?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. So I'm going to put 10 seconds right here. All right, so now we got to think about, we know that we have a VF and a VI. We just have to figure out which one is which. So a biker begins to move from a speed of 6 meters per second to a final speed of 25 meters per second, okay? So the final speed is what? That's VF, and which one was that?
5 seconds.
Yes, 25 meters per second, okay? So that must mean that our initial speed was 6 meters per second. And let's color code this just in case people get lost. All right, so I'm just gonna color code this. All right, so this was my time right here. So that's blue. And then let's make this 25 meters per second this color, okay? And then I need another color, green. All right. All right, and then this green was my initial one. So this was 6 meters per second, all right? All right, so now the hardest part, or the trickiest part, I should say, is making sure you write them correctly. A lot of times we think about the initial and we think that should go first, but look at what it says. So I wasn't drawing this arrow for you to say to switch them. I was drawing it so you know not to switch them, okay? So make sure that the VF goes first, okay? VF goes first. All right, so if I write it in order, so I should have 25 meters per second minus 6 meters per second And then I'm dividing it by 10 seconds, excuse me, 10 seconds. All right. You do need calculators. You will probably need calculators for the rest of the year for the most part. All right, 25 minus 6, what did you guys get?
19.
I got 19 too. So 19, all right. So I'm just gonna, so I got 19 and then, so you wanna be careful on these calculators. You don't wanna do 20, like if I do 25, let me write down 19 first. Okay, so I got 19 and then I'm gonna divide that by 10. So divide it by 10. And that 19 is still meters per second. Now, here's the thing I want you to be very careful about on your calculator, depending on what type of calculator you have. When you do the 25 minus 6, you need to hit enter. So we got 19. So Jalen said he got 19. Then we divide by 10, and I got 1.9. Is that what you guys got?
Yeah.
Okay, 1.9. And this was 10 seconds, okay? So a meter per second divided by a second. So I'm looking at this. Meters per second divided by a second. You can write it one of two ways. If you think you're going to get confused, you can just say a meter per second divided by a second, which realistically is the same thing as me saying meters per second squared. That's the same thing. Okay, so that's your answer. Back to the calculator. If I put in my calculator right now, 25 minus 6 divided by 10,
You get 24.
get 24.4, okay? Because your calculator does order of operations. So after you do your top calculation, that 20, whatever you're subtracting, your two velocities, you need to hit enter and write that number down before, unless you know how to use like parentheses. Now, if you know how to use parentheses, I can say parentheses 25 minus 6, close parentheses, and then hit divided by 10, and that should give me the right answer. And it did, it gave me 1.9. Okay, so the answer to this first one is 1.9 meters per second. All right, let's skip down to number 3. All right, I'm calling on people. So everybody read the question and I'm calling on people. I think that's how I'm gonna start taking attendance from now on. That's what we're doing, Kim. All right, everybody's reading through number 3, figuring out what you're putting for VF, VI, and T. See if you can figure out what to put where first. All right, Robin, tell me one number that you want me to fill in somewhere. Any one you want.
The final velocity is 15.
All right, very nice. So he said the final velocity is 15. So let's just double check. While driving along a highway, a driver slows from 24 meters per second to 15 meters per second. So that does sound like that's the right one. So 15 meters per second for the final velocity. 15 meters per second. And I'm going to go ahead and just write my equation so I don't forget. A is equal to VF minus VI divided by T. All right, Rhea, give me another number.
15. I mean, 12
Well, where do you
For-
want that?
time.
Time, 12 seconds for time. Very nice. All right. Oh, don't mind that. All right, and then Fitz Marlin, what else do you want? What else do we have?
The 24.
24 for the initial, very nice. All right, 24 for the initial. What color is that? Oh, I mixed up my colors in there. This is supposed to be 24. This is blue. This is, oops. I'm just trying to color coordinate in case some of you guys are more visual, okay? All right, so there we go. So this is 24 meters per second. All right, great. So now I'm plugging in. Now let's think about this, okay? Even before I get this, before I plug it in, it said that the driver slowed down. So is that a positive or a negative acceleration?
Negative.
Negative. So your answer should be a negative number. So don't,
Oh, okay.
right? So don't put them in backwards, okay? So now let's go ahead and plug them in. So we have 15 for our final, 15 meters per second, minus 24 meters per second, divided by our time, which is 12 seconds. All right. Don't forget to either use your parentheses or to make sure you hit enter after you use that top one. 12. All right. Miss Lena, did you get an answer for us? Lena, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still working on it. Hold on.
Okay. Just as a heads up, everyone should have a negative answer. Okay, negative answer. Okay. All right, Lena, I'm going to come back to you. Who has an answer for me?
Me.
Okay, what you got, Jalen?
For the top, you get -9. And then when you divide -9 by 12, you get -0.75.
Very nice. All right, so Jalen said when he did the top, he got -9. This is still meters per second. And if you just have the answer, that's fine, okay? -9 divided, and then he divided it by 12 seconds. And then he said overall he got -0.75. And remember, this is a meters per second squared, or you can say meters per second, okay? I'll take either one. All right, let's do one more. All right. Actually, I tell you what, we'll practice some more through these, and then on Tuesday, we're gonna do the Go Formative and the homework. All right, so let's do, I'm on the second page, I'm on number 5. Ooh, let's not do number 5. Yeah, let's not do number 5. Let's do number 6. I'll tell you why later on I don't want to do number 5. All right, number 6, a cart rolls down a hill for 5 seconds. What is the acceleration of the cart if it started from rest and had a final speed of 22 meters per second? All right, take a couple minutes, see if you can work through that one. And then I'm going to tell you, I am coming back to Lena. I'm also coming to Faith and Kaylee. Those are the 3 people I'm calling on. Actually 4. Kaylee, Lena, Faith, and Jordan. I'll write your equation again while you guys are working. So remember, if you're confused because you're like, I'm missing a number, if something is at rest, what is the velocity? Right? If something's at rest, the velocity is 0, okay? So if you're confused and you think you're missing a number, anytime something starts at rest or it stops, the velocity is 0. Jalen, never mind my last message. You're right. All right, Lena, what number do you want to fill in for me?
5 for time.
5 seconds for time. Yes, ma'am, I agree. And then Kaylee, what number do you want?
Is VF 22 meters per second?
Yes, ma'am, it is. Okay, Faith, what you got? Faith, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't know if you had said my name or not, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of confused about like how to really do this whole thing.
Okay. You're supposed to be giving me a number, and the only one left is VI. So you know what VI is?
Yeah.
Okay. What number did you get for it?
Oh, I couldn't really like solve this problem because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to solve this problem.
Okay. Jordan, what number did you get?
I got 0.
0 for VI. Very good. 0 for VI, 0 meters per second. All right. So now we're just going to plug in the numbers. All right. And so we got 22 meters per second minus 0 meters per second divided by 5 seconds. All right. 22 minus 0 is just 22. Adela, did you get an answer by chance? Did you get an answer already?
22 minus 0 is 22, and then 22 divided by 5 is 4.4.
Very nice. Very good. All right. 5 seconds. This was meters per second. And then she said she got 4.4. All right. And this is meters per second, either squared or meters per second. Okay. If you forget that it's squared, then you can just look at what you divided. You had a meters per second and you divided it by a second. And that's why it's a meter per second. But just to shorten it, we just say seconds squared. Okay. All right. Let's do another one. Let's do, we can do number, let's see, 8. Let's go back up and do another one. Let's do number 4. All right. I'm going to cheat right now and just copy this because I'm lazy. Copy. Oops. So we're working on number 4. Paste. All right. Number 4, in case you can't read it. then this time I'm coming to Aurelia, Glory, Harmony, and Reagan.
Wait, do you want us to answer the question?
I'm just gonna ask you for, so somebody's gonna give me VF, somebody's gonna give me VI, somebody's gonna give me T, and it doesn't matter, it's just whoever I call on first, whatever they decide to give me. And then somebody's just gonna tell me what they got for a final answer after we plug it all in, that's all. So you still wanna work through it, you just wanna make sure you got everything where it's supposed to be. And this will be our last one.
Do we turn this in?
No, it's just gonna be practice problems, because you're gonna have a quiz over it, like
Okay.
a homework quiz over it, yeah. And what you can do is, if you want to work through some more of them, I'll send out the key so you can see if you're doing them right.
Okay.
All right.
Would VF be 85?
Okay. So really, it's gonna be VF. Let's see. A parachute on a dragster racing car opens and changes the speed of the car from 85 meters per second to 45 meters per second in a period of 4.5 seconds. So would you give me VI or VF? Sorry, I forgot what number and what answer. Sorry, because I was reading. So it went from 85 meters per second to 45 meters per second in a period of 4.5 seconds. So what number do you want to give me? And for what?
VF 85.
VF 85. Is that what they finished with? Did they finish with 85 meters per second or start at 85 meters per second?
They started?
Yes, because it said he went from 85 meters per second to 45 meters per second. And it sounds weird, but if you remember dragsters, those are those like long skinny cars. And when they're getting ready to stop, they're going so fast, they let out this parachute in the back and it helps slow them down. You seen those before? All right, so 85 meters per second for the VI. VI is green, okay. All right, and then I'm not gonna lie, I forgot who I said. Harmony, did you have one for us?
BF will be 45.
Okay, VF is 45, oops, wrong color. 45 meters per second. 45 meters per second. And then I know I said Reagan, but I can't remember who else I said. Reagan, what do you have? And then I think it was Glory.
The time is 45 seconds.
Is how long?
4.5 seconds.
4.5 seconds, very nice. All right, 4.5 seconds. All right, so I'm gonna plug everything in, and Glory, you get ready to tell me what you got for an answer in a second, but I'm gonna plug it in. But let's think about that, okay? We talked about the dragster, and I said if he started at 85 and he went down or slowed down to 45 from that parachute opening up and slowing him down, think about whether you should have a positive or a negative acceleration, okay? So I'm gonna plug in, so we got A is equal to 45 meters per second minus 85 meters per second divided by 4.5 seconds. All right, Ms. Laura, did you get an answer already?
Not yet.
Okay. Tell me if when you get your top number, if you get that. So we know the bottom is still 4.5.
The top number is -40.
-40, that is correct. All right, so we got -40. And then we're dividing that by 4.5. And then Glory, tell me when you get that last number right there.
-8.89.
Very nice. -8.89. If you put -8.88, 8.89, -8.9, -9, I would take any of those, okay? Meters per second squared. Very nice. All right. Everybody feel okay on these? If you did not watch the video notes, by the way, I can see at least that a good bit of people did not. Make sure you watch those by Tuesday because you're going to have a quiz, okay? A homework quiz. You guys have a great weekend. Toodaloo.